A very good evening. You're watching News 9 with me, Akshita. Well, in a shocking incident, two people were trapped when mud caved in while they were laying a drainage pipe in Whitefield. Well, two of them got stuck 15 feet underground where the operations were going on. In fact, of the two that were stuck, one of them has been rescued. Hussein was rescued while Alim is still stuck below that mud. It is understood that they were laying a drainage pipe, so they had dug and gone right underneath. But it looks like some of the mud that they had in fact dug out fell right in, it caved in, and that led to two of them getting stuck underneath. It is understood that one of them has been pulled out, the other is still stuck inside. And of course, we understand that they are hoping that they will be able to pull him out before this turns into an absolute tragedy. It is understood that possibly after they dug up that mud, they did not place it on the side, but instead precariously right next to where they were digging, which led to it falling down and such an incident taking place. Well, we understand that rescue operations are currently in place in Whitefield to rescue that one other worker, but we will have to wait and watch to see if those operations pay off, if the people will manage to rescue him as well. And of course, people there working against time to go ahead and pull out the other worker as well to ensure that he does not suffocate and die. We've seen these kind of incidents, of course, take place in the past as well, but it looks like at this point it's not the rain that needs to be blamed, but shoddy operations. It's understood that the people had dug up that mud, pushed it onto the side, and when these two men walked down, that mud fell right on top of them. One of them was easily pulled out. It is understood that he was above the other one. And well, Ram Gopal Verma is not new to Twitter controversies. This time around, though, it's for what can be called the most politically incorrect thing. Ram Gopal Verma has put up a series of posts on Twitter about Lord Ganesha. He wrote that Lord Ganesha could not save his own head from being severed and therefore would not be likely to save others. He also posted, "Happy Ganapati to morons." This is what the director had gone on to state, and no doubt it's created quite a bit of anger. Well, my colleague Nolan now joins us live from the newsroom. Nolan, we do understand that you have a number of these tweets that were put up by Ram Gopal Verma. No doubt these are very, very insulting remarks to any Hindu out there. But if you could take us through exactly what he's gone on to state.
Right, Akshita. Now, in spite of all this, he still remains very unapologetic. But let me straight head out to these tweets. Now, this is the first tweet that came about 14 hours ago. He says, "The guy who couldn't save his own head from being cut, how will he save others' heads is my question. But happy Ganapati Day to morons." This is his first tweet. It does not stop there. There are about 5-6 other tweets. I'm going to show you all of them. Next one, he goes about saying, "What did Ganesha do that his brother Kumara didn't do so that only Ganesha became God? Is it because Kumara didn't get head cut off like Ganesha?" That's the next question. Now, before I head on to that, on his first tweet, let me just show you the reactions that have come out from certain people. In fact, I found some interesting reactions right down here. Vinay says, "When you wake up from your stupor, read the tweet again. You will know why exactly you got screwed in spite of being talented." That's point one. Another person says, "India spirit, this one immature tweet will bring you down for sure. One who can't get into symbolic expression of Hindu stories is a dead man." So people are basically, you don't find most of the people accepting with his tweets. They're not too, all right, fine, you know what, you've said this tweet, let's all be done with it. Now, he goes on after the first two tweets to say, "Can someone tell me if today is the day Ganesha was originally born, or is it the day his dad cut off his head?" So we all do know the story of what exactly happened, how he was standing at the door. Shiva comes in. Since Parvati said that no one should be allowed to come in while she actually takes a bath, he did not allow his own father to enter. Now his father Shiva was angry and hence severed his head. Now we all do know all that. Then he goes on to say it. does Lord Ganesha eat with his hands or his trunk? He does not stop there. He says, I would really love to know from Lord Ganesha's devotees a list of what obstacles he removed in all the years they prayed to him. Now, when people thought, all right, fine, that's it, that's the end, he goes on, says, I have an innocent question. Can someone please tell me how a Lord who couldn't save his own head will save others' heads? Then he says, does Lord Ganesha eat much more than other gods? My doubt is because all the other gods are either trim or muscular. Well, then next he says, he goes on to tweet, did Lord Ganesha have a paunch in his childhood too, or did he develop in the recovery time of the elephant head operation? And to make things even more worse, he says, Happy Ganesh Chaturthi. May this day, 29th August, bring prosperity and happiness to everybody so that there will be no problems from the 30th of August. Now, he does try to explain himself later on, but before that he says, can someone explain how someone can cut off a
Nolan,
child's head?
in fact, we'll come back to you. Thank you so much for joining us with all those updates. Ram Gopal Verma making some very, very controversial statements on Twitter there, and it definitely hasn't gone down too well with the people who have gone on to slam him for the same. We understand that an FIR has also been lodged against Ram Gopal Verma for making such controversial statements. Tracking the latest updates in the collapse that took place in Whitefield, we understand that the other man who was stuck inside that particular area, who was underneath that mud, has passed away. It is understood that he could not survive that particular incident, and of course 2 people were stuck when they were going ahead and laying that drainage pipe. We understand that one of them was pulled out. Hussein was rescued while Alim was still stuck underneath. It is understood that he did not manage to survive the ordeal. He has passed away. Well, this took place earlier in the day. It is understood that these 2 men, Hussein and Alim, were in fact laying a drainage pipe, and when that took place, it is understood that they were right below. They had dug out a lot of that mud, but maybe the fact that they had not pushed that mud aside, it all came caving down upon them, and Hussein, who was right on top, was pulled out almost immediately, but Alim was stuck right underneath amidst all that mud, and it looks like due to suffocation he may have passed away, but at this point we will have to await a post-mortem report to confirm exactly what took place, what happened to him. And well, it looks like now people are trying to ensure that they cover up this particular area, but unfortunate there that Alim did not survive that shocking incident. In fact, it is understood that possibly due to suffocation, Alim could have passed away. And well, it is understood that this particular incident took place earlier in the day. Hussein and Alim were stuck underneath. Both of them were workers. They were trying to lay that drainage pipe when the incident took place. My colleague Verghese now joins us over the phone line with more details. Verghese, if you could give us more updates on exactly what took place.
Well, Akshita, what happened is this particular stretch in Whitefield, they are laying out new drainage pipes. There's been a lot of construction activity in that area. So they have laying huge drainage pipes to, in fact, take in the load that is going to come from these buildings. Now, in this particular work, what we know is that 2 people in that particular area where they were digging the mud so that they would be able to put these huge drainage pipes, those mud, that part, in fact, caved in. And 2 people were caught in that cave-in. One of the person was able to be rescued. The person who's been rescued has been called Hussein, and the person, another person, was still stuck in the mud. So it took a little time for the firefighters to, in fact, dig out the mud and also to remove a lot of debris that had fallen on that person. But unfortunately, when they were able to reach the second person, who's been named as Salim, he was already dead, and they had to pull out the body from the place. The drainage is being this particular drainage pipe is being dug to around 15 feet within. That is the digging the depth in which this particular place has been laid out. So what we know at present is that this incident happened at that particular feet, and since they were digging at 15 feet, the soil was loose on both the sides, and also the machinery that was used was quite effective. So what happened is it created instability within the walls that was already there because the soil was loose and it caved in, and that's how the second person got trapped much deeper than the first person. That is, it took time for the rescue operations personnel to reach to the second person, and that also contributed to his death, Akshita.